Got this old Devilbiss air compressor here. It was a big monster. Died, got a rod knock in it. So we got this Harbor Freight 150-pound compressor. I had to weld a plate on it here and mount it. I still haven't got the hose hooked up or anything. I'm hoping that blow-off valve will still work, but turned out that this old motor was running backwards, and I've got a plate here. Looks like you switch the two middle terminals, and it's got some kind of a capacitor thing up here. I assume that's the two wires. So I marked them with tape. This is one of them. This is the other one. The two line wires are still straight. So I'm going to try to switch those and see if this compressor will run the right way. Never done this before. I know that it's possible. This compressor is probably too small. That's a 1.5 horse motor. It's supposed to be a 5 horse for that thing, but it's 220 single phase. I'll just cut these apart and switch those two and see what happens. Switched this one and that one, and these are the ones that go up here to the capacitor thing. I'm not sure. The other two look like they're going to the line, so I'm hoping that that's the right one. I'll plug it in real quick and see if it either blows a fuse or turns the right way. Still going clockwise, so I guess this capacitor doesn't really make any difference. So there's only one more wire in there. I'll see if I can figure out how to switch those other two. Little lugs had numbers on them, and a while ago it was 8 and 4 was line, and 1 and 5 to line. So I changed it to this 1 and 8 and 5 and 4, and these three to the starter winding. I think that does something to the, I'm not sure what. The ballast, it kind of gives it a shock to get it started, but I'm pretty sure that it should run clockwise now. We'll see. Running counterclockwise. I don't really have any oil in this compressor, so I just run it just a second to see which way it's turning and stuff. But it's running counterclockwise now, so when this is turning this way, it's going to force air across the motor. I think it's probably got a splash thing in there too, so that's throws oil up on the crankshaft. But anyway, I'm pretty sure this is the way it's supposed to be. Now I'll just try to make a little better connection and tape it all up and put it back together. Here it is. Problem was, this is not 3/4, so I soldered it to the inside of a 3/4 pipe. Used a couple 90s on it. Same thing here. The guy was supposed to get some acid core when he never did. And it's probably not going to close the door here. But at least we can find out if that pop-off valve and everything is going to work. I think it should. It seems to be working. Not producing air very fast. That gauge is right over there. It's about 25 pounds. Pop-off valve is just leaking. Turned out my solder job here on the bottom blew loose about 80 pounds or so. I redid it. This is really a bad job. It's put together with rosin core solder. The guy didn't get me any acid core. I don't like it anyway. Probably had an adapter here and an adapter there on both ends, and then some good pipe. Anyway, we'll let it run and see if it'll build enough pressure to turn off. Back here on this Old Devilbiss, I've got a new pressure regulator there, so I could take off this electronic control. It's got a coupling down there. I'll loosen that up and get it off. Alright, I put my little chineseum pressure sensor on it. It was a 4-port, so I put a pressure gauge in here, a pop-off valve there. I've still got an open one there, and got my pressure relieving or backflow preventer valve, whatever they call these things, compression release basically. And I never did get a bolt in that over there, so I'll try to get a bolt in that. And because it was so badly bolted down, it just snapped my little tack there. So I need to re-weld that. Once I get 4 bolts in it, it'll be fine. But pressure looks good. I've used pipe tape on everything real good, so it shouldn't leak. I just have to mount that compressor better there. I tried to get a bolt up through that and never could. I think I may just weld a stud on the plate and just do it that way. Save trying to get another bolt in, and I messed with it for a half hour already. There it is, all its glory, everything hooked back up. I didn't have another fitting to plug it, so I just stuck a metric bolt in it with some pipe tape, tighten up the belts. Should be good to go. It is running pretty quiet. This wheel shut off at about 140 pounds on this gauge, and this one looks like it's about, I can't really see it, about 130, so they're pretty close. Shut off at 130 pounds. This belt's a little loose. The kickoff worked good. I don't have any idea where it'll turn back on, but I'm sure it will. So here's a kind of a done deal. The guy still wants me to run some pipe up his wall and over, but that's something for another day. Now it's in and wired, shuts itself off, so that's good enough for me.